like all caught up. So next year we're gonna release the update on all platforms at the same time, more or less, not maybe on the same day, but more or less at the same time.
Yeah. So you did just hear Jeb correctly. There is going to be an update for all platforms at the same time next year, and it's going to be the Ocean Aquatic update. So this is one of the biggest update reveals we've ever had, because again, it's not just one update at one time, it's one huge update coming to all platforms. And again, we had a lot of the features confirmed and revealed, and I'm so excited to tell you about all of those in today's video. So hopefully you do all enjoy hearing about the next big update for all Minecraft platforms. You can like the video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel. And listen, you are excited for the Ocean Aquatic update. Again, if you're not already, just based on the name, then you will be by the end of this video. But let's get straight into it. Jeb did a little bit of a presentation at Minecon, and let's show you the little bits of that and then talk about my opinions. So here's the first bit, which is the magma pillars.
And the next update, that's going to be the update Aquatic.
Update Aquatic. Wow.
So
tell us a little bit about some of the... What do we got here?
So as you can see, there is now a way to put magma underwater, and it's going to make bubbles come out of it, which at first, because this is the very first feature, you might think that's really just nothing and that's just a cool visual effect, but realistically, this update is changing the entire way water works. It's changing a bunch of water physics, and it's going to make all items float on the water unless there is one of these magma pillars nearby, in which case it's going to cause the items to sink to the surface, like they currently do, but this means water will have different physics based on whether there's magma down there, and also it has a cool lighting property, and it just looks really fascinating, and also it will affect your boat if you happen to drive a boat over one, so you can actually do some interesting things with other people. So yeah, that is the magma pillar column things. It's a fairly small thing, but again, it's such a big deal for, you know, people who like to build with it. But let's talk about the second feature, which is the trident.
So what is this? You want to talk a little bit about these?
We'll wait until after the clip.
Sure.
So again, it might not be too clear what's being, you know, shown here, like, oh yeah, it's a weapon that you can throw at things, it looks like. But yeah, basically it's going to be the first weapon in Minecraft, which is both a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, because you can use it as some form of sword. We don't know the damage, the power, that's going to be a really important part, whether it's viable, but it can also be thrown at things, and again, it will just be thrown by default. But there's also new enchantments coming to this thing, which again, Jeb gets into later. There's new enchantments in this update, as well as a new weapon, and maybe this is the combat thing he was talking about. Again, there are likely combat tweaks that weren't necessarily mentioned here, but it means that the trident is going to be perhaps a really serious contender in both, you know, if you're underwater, it's going to be a pretty useful one, but also maybe in PvP, because bear in mind that bows are pretty much useless underwater. This is going to be the underwater equivalent, presumably, and that's going to be quite a fascinating new world to explore Minecraft in. So yeah, really exciting stuff by itself, but then we move on to the next feature here, and this is the most, you know, fascinating thing to look at. It's the thing we asked for so long. I've made like at least 3 videos saying we need this in Minecraft, we want this in Minecraft, and it is the brand new ocean effect thing. So again, it's just stunning to look at. I could spend all day just looking at this thing and being like, oh, it's pretty. But basically, if you can see right here, this confirms a new block of some form. You can see there's the pink new block there. It confirms the new, like, plant life at the very least. It confirms, it looks like multiple new blocks. There's something with gravel going on there. I'm not entirely sure what. It confirms the new mobs. It confirms so many features at once. It really is a mega feature, honestly, because there's just so much going on. But you're going to be able to find these coral reefs, it looks like. I don't think they're everywhere, but you will be able to find them. And they're going to contain real physical fish, which means fish have gone from being an item that you can just get with those fishing rods occasionally to being an item that you can physically go and grab. If you grab them with a bucket, they'll exist in your bucket. You'll have a bucket of fish, and you can put them on land, which means aquariums are now possible in this next update. That is such a big deal by itself, because previously you just had like a big glass column and maybe you built your own fish in there. No, now you can actually collect fish, and it's like a real thing, and that is such a big deal by itself. Also, there's new types of fish, but let's just move on to the next thing here, because this is even a bigger deal in my opinion, because it's a brand new set of water physics. That's, I mean, that's fine by itself, but the bigger deal is the thing after this, because again, the water physics you can just vaguely see there, it's tricky to understand, but the big thing after that is actually going to be the fact that, as you can see, there are shipwrecks in this update as well. So this is a brand new generated structures. I love generated structures, or brand new generated structure, and you'll be able to find them at the ocean surface, and presumably they're going to have some treasure on them. Jeb mentions later there's some treasure, and it's pretty cool that we're going to see a brand new structure for that. We didn't see much about it. We don't know how much variance there's going to be. Are they all going to look like this, or there'll be different types of ship, you know, different types of wood? I hope it's going to be the latter, but still, still, we're seeing a brand new reason to go underwater. And for everyone who's upset that Mob A wasn't the mob voted, then, you know, realistically, you have all the reasons in the world to, you know, like the consolation prize, because this is such a big ocean update in terms of just the pure content. You know, dolphins, how about I just show you some dolphins actually, shall I? So here you can see the last thing. If you didn't watch my video earlier, then here are some dolphins. One of the biggest things in this next update, perhaps the biggest thing. As you can see, you got some parrots following you, while you got some dolphins nearby. And it looks like they're tamed in this image and they're following the player, or maybe they're just like a random wild roaming thing. It's hard to be certain. We haven't heard any information on what the dolphin's for. It's mostly just this teased thing where it's like, oh yeah, so there's the dolphin, and it's pretty exciting. Who doesn't love dolphins? And that's kind of just where that was left. So anyway, moving on from that, let's show you now because basically Jeb did a huge bunch of talking about this. It's about 5 minutes in length, and I assume you want to hear it if you're excited about this update. So we're going to go through it. I'm going to pause just like a few intervals. So there's going to be a lot of Jeb right now. Be warned. I mean, it's fun to listen to Jeb. So here you go.
That looks so cool. And judging by the fan reaction, people are going to be super excited about this. Why don't you walk us through this update a little?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were talking backstage about the bubble columns. Like there were a lot of questions about them. What do they actually do? And a lot of these changes we're doing are of course just we're prototyping. Like textures and graphics can change, and even behaviors may change when we start snapshotting and testing things out with the community. But one thing is that many of these will affect the way water works in Minecraft. And one thing is that items will now start floating on the surface, and a bubble column, which is created by these magma blocks, they're gonna like break the buoyancy of water, so everything will fall down into them. So there will be like ravines underwater with these magma blocks. So when you're riding a boat, suddenly the boat might.
So that's the confirmation of the thing I said earlier about the magma blocks changing your boat, but it's also the confirmation that they're changing ravines in this update, and they're going to change those ravines in such a way that underwater they're going to have this, like, you know, interesting effect on the surface. That is just fascinating to me, the idea that you'll be able to spot the ravines from the surface like that, the fact that they'll make the water not just this plain blue surface you have to ride on for sometimes, you know, minutes at a time. Instead, it's going to be a way to spot these things. It's going to be a way to spot, maybe you'll see like underwater wrecks in the same way. I don't know, I love this by itself, the water physics combined that. It's just amazing. But let's show you a bunch more of Jeb talking, and again, he talks about a lot of stuff in this update, including enchantments, and it's a big deal. But let's just kind of go through it.
And then we are adding a new weapon called the trident.
The trident.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's a weapon you can do both in melee and you can throw it. Yep. But as you saw in the clip, like if you throw it, you lost your weapon.
Lost
right?
the weapon.
Yeah.
So you're weaponless. So throwing the weapon doesn't seem like a good idea.
No, definitely not. So there's a special enchantment for tridents called loyalty that makes it come back. Like
nice. Loyalty.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like to get that.
And there's also a bunch of other enchantments for it. Like one is it's currently called Riptide, that when you're swimming and you throw the trident, it's like a dashing, so you get like a push forward.
Oh, like a little push forward. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And it's kind of fun because you can, if you're at the surface and you throw it up, you jump like a dolphin.
Oh, nice.
And one fun thing that Dinabone suggested was that it only works in water, but we made it now also works when it's raining. So it's like have you ever like, yes, it's raining in Minecraft? No, right? But now you're like, yes, it's raining. You take on your elytra and you throw the trident and you just swoop away.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
That sounds fun.
Yes, and then we have the coral and the kelp, and we have the actual fish. And this is like to add more variety into the oceans and then more things to see. And also, like in the video clip, you saw coral and kelp right next to each other, but they're going to be separated because we're going to have ocean biomes, so warm and cold oceans with different type of terrain.
Oh, wow.
And all the fish that you currently fish as items, they will exist as proper fish. So we have like a salmon and tropical fish and clownfish and puffer fish, and etc. I guess. I forgot some.
Good. That was good knowledge.
Yes, and for Minecraft players, this will work similar to bats. They will come and go. But if you catch one with a bucket, you will get a bucket with water and fish in it. And you can put this out, and this is going to be like a persistent fish. So you can use it to build aquariums in your houses, and you will keep your fish. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Don't forget to feed them.
Yeah. And then I mentioned changes to the water physics. And primarily what we want to do is to be able to build with slabs and stairs and fences underwater without getting in these weird air pockets. Like that's the objective we're trying to solve. But then it also kind of makes sense that you have like more proper water movement through these blocks. And we are aware that this will come with a lot of like new behaviors. So we're gonna try things out and see how it works. But like the main goal is to make it easier to build underwater.
So yeah, right. So it's going to be that's so cool, and it'll kind of evolve over time as you use it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we have like more underwater terrain with the shipwrecks and icebergs. So it's going to be more variation in the ocean terrains, things to find. And
iceberg.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And there will be more different treasures to find.
So there you can see, just to quickly pause here, there is going to be a brand new type of structure found. Again, this isn't a new biome. I thought for a bit it was, but he confirms that it's just a new structure, an iceberg found in the existing frozen kind of ocean biome. So that's pretty exciting by itself. It means instead of having these big, again, flat plains again, which, they're fun for riding boats on, instead now you'll be able to find a variant of this biome, or again, whether it's a biome or a structure you can argue, but it's the same idea of like there's a huge iceberg that you can find, and it's going to sometimes have packed ice in. So packed ice is no longer going to be exclusive to these ice spikes, which is still going to be fascinating, but they're going to be ice, there's going to be these huge icebergs you can find. And he then mentioned something about treasure. There's going to be more treasure in this update, and he could just be referring to those new treasure enchantments. But bear in mind, we have wrecked ships in this update. We have these new ravines to explore. We have so much in this update. It seems logical to me that it's not just going to be like, oh yeah, these new enchantments are treasure based, which it could be. It could be the tridents that, but I think we'll see something else as well as these things, because again, it's not if it's just mentioning the features you have already, that's not really new treasure, and given that we have a new structure that you want to find, it just makes sense there's going to be something unique to that boat, and that gets me really excited personally. So yeah, let's show you the very last of this now.
Which brings me to dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, how excited is everybody for the dolphins?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
So, well, like in every update, we try to introduce like one new animal mob. The dolphins will actually help you in the oceans to find treasure. They will help you guide players.
Oh, really? Oh, they're
yeah,
friendly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And this is just like a sneak peek of things coming. We have way more features related to the update Aquatic.
Yeah.
So you will see more announcements.
Yeah, more announcements coming out sometime in the next year.
Yes.
That's so cool. I love the dolphins are great. It's nice to have a sense of porpoise.
So we'll just end on that joke, but let's actually talk about the whole dolphin finding treasure thing, because that is a fascinating use. Again, we don't know how it's going to be done. Is it tamed, or is it just you find dolphins and then they lead you towards treasure? But it still means that this update, given that there's underwater, you need to give people an incentive there. There's this real big focus on treasure, and the treasure isn't just going to be that one thing, in my opinion. So yeah, dolphins are in this update. He also confirmed the kind of trend that there's one new mob, just animal mob in every update, so we can expect more stuff. So if you want to see turtles, maybe 1.15. If you want to see these basic, just friendly mobs, you'll see them slowly update by update, maybe an elephant, maybe a tiger, whatever it is you're thinking about. But still, I think it's really exciting that all these things were confirmed, and then he says there's more to come. There's more to be seen in this update, and although I'm kind of bummed that, like, this is going to be early 2018, it sounds like, he said next year, it could be like a surprise, it's out by December thing, but I think realistically we won't be seeing it by then, which makes me wonder what we are seeing in December instead, because, again, every December they do something, especially on the console. Would they just do nothing this year? Especially, you know, after they just launched Better Together. I'm not too certain, but that is everything you need to know about the Ocean Aquatic update. I know this video was a lot longer than normal, but I wanted to show you it all and show you the Minecraft stuff and maybe get you excited. So please do like it if you did like it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let's know you do like these sorts of videos, going over everything you need to know about the updates. Share if you really liked it, subscribe if you're around here, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. Q&A Saturday probably won't be up today because it's such a busy day. It'll probably be up sometime tomorrow. So if you want to ask any questions about Minecon, I'll put a Twitter thing out, or you can put it in the comments of this video. But realistically, everyone's just going to be asking about the Ocean Aquatic update. But still, if you have questions about that, leave it down below. And also, I'll be uploading the Java panel because a lot of you might want to see that. Like, Secret wasn't included in Minecon, was just uploaded at the same time as Minecon kind of content, and it confirms exciting stuff, like they're going to be changing the colors of trapdoors and stuff. Anyway, it's big stuff. I'll be uploading that soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day, turn on notifications, and goodbye.